Good evening, Simon here, Explosive Action, and we are back for the June DVD and Blu-ray update. As you can see, the pile has grown significantly in this month, and I've left it to the dying days of June to get on with it. So, let's get on with it. So we've got three things to look at here: DVDs, Blu-rays, and box sets. We're going to start with the DVDs. And the first one we're going to take a look at is one called Saint Agatha. There's a bunch of very modern horror movies in here. I had a bit of a thing. I jumped on Amazon and there's all these $5 and $6 modern horror movies, and I could get them the next day. And I just thought, why not? One of them was this, Saint Agatha, which was kind of a... I went and watched it. It was pretty good, actually. I quite enjoyed this one. It's a sort of like an evil nun in a movie, a bit like... say something like The Woods, when you've got the school that's got the sort of off-kilter headmistress. It's a bit like that with Saint Agatha, where you've got these girls that live in a sort of convent kind of school, and you've got the pretty off-kilter head nun. Yeah, it's a bit like that, but there's a lot more to it than that. A lot more to it than meets the eye. And I thought it was really good fun. So yeah, Saint Agatha's quite a good one. Some creepy bits, and just generally, unhinged head nuns. So, lots of bad habits. Get it? Yeah. Anyway, the next one. This one's called Project Ithaca. This is a pretty cool sci-fi horror thing. Quite claustrophobic, set in a... if you can imagine, that final scene in Fire in the Sky, when he goes into the ship and he's crawling through all the weird biomechanical parts of the ship. The whole thing pretty much takes place in something like that, with these people that are sort of strapped to the walls with goo and wondering how they all got there. So it's a bit like, Saw in that kind of regard. These people, trying to work out how to escape. But they're all on this spaceship, and the interesting thing about that is that they're all from different time periods. So you got one guy from the 60s and one guy from the year 2300, and it's all mixed up. And yeah, I thought this was pretty interesting. So there's obviously aliens, and it does flash back into sort of scientists in modern time now trying to connect this with this strange future that's happening. It's all a bit weird, but I thought it was a pretty interesting concept. Project Ithaca. Nobody I really knew who was in it, but it was just a all-round fairly decent little sci-fi horror. Some pretty cool gory bits, actually. There's an interesting talking head piece when the head has been removed from someone's neck. I thought it was kind of cool, and I love that cover. It was really good stuff. This one was pretty cool as well. This is Portal. It's also called Doors, I think, in the States, but we got it called Portal over here. It's actually an anthology science fiction movie. It's from the team that brought VHS, the anthology horror. Well, this one's called Portal, and they put that together. This was pretty good. I think it could have done with a little bit more exploring into the whys of these doors, why they're there. But I'm pretty sure that was the point of this, is that you don't know why they're there. Just one day there's suddenly these portals. And each of the little stories, I think there was 4, might have been 5, but I think it was 4, is just different people's relationships with what's going on with these doors, these portals, how they interact with them. So it's certainly worth a watch. I think it was pretty good. I would have liked it to delve a bit more into the science of these portals, why they're there, how that happened. But I understand why they didn't. So anyway, Portal, good stuff. Haven't watched these next ones. This one's called Devoured. I've been seeing this cover around for ages. It looked kind of interesting. I watched the trailer. Trailer seemed alright. Atmospheric with a great payoff. Says bloody disgusting. We've got a young immigrant that works night shifts in a New York restaurant, struggles to make enough money in order to pay for an operation back in Mexico, and blah blah blah. Torment, killing, struggles. Yeah, anyway, sounds interesting. So there you go. Completely mad or malevolent forces. Ooh, interesting. Might be some possession thing going on there. Devoured. See how that's like. Been eyeing this off for ages. I heard a few good things about it. Habit. Yeah, nice R rating for high impact themes, sexualized violence, blood and gore. You get an R in Australia, you're doing something right. One taste and you're hooked is what it says on the back here. It's in Manchester, so I expect we're going to get some very chavvy kind of accents in this. Hopefully a lot of people calling each other bruh. And yeah. I digress. Violent death, blood-drenched flashbacks, Twilight world that he doesn't understand. Yeah, it sounds pretty crazy. Anyway, so some habits are hard to break, and this habit is deadly. There's a lot of things about habits today, but not that kind of nun habit. I think I'll leave that joke alone. This is just one called Habit. And yeah, no idea. It just seems pretty interesting, so we'll see what this one's like. Hopefully a gory, horrible time. The Gracefield Incident. This is an interesting concept. I haven't watched it yet, but the trailer was like, yeah, okay, they're doing paranormal activity, but the camera is in some guy's glass eyeball, and it's got like a red light, like the Terminator. So yeah, you can't see him on the back, but anyway, apparently we get some aliens with cool fingerprint things. You get hand on the head. I don't know, it just says, holy crap, this looks freaky. That's the quote. But yeah, he's a video game editor, embeds a phone camera into his prosthetic eye to record and document a weekend with friends. So it starts off with friends away on a cabin kind of thing. Takes a terrifying turn when a meteorite crashes the party. Get it? Meteorite crashes the... forcing everyone to face the darkest screaming nightmare while somehow connecting life, love and loss in a twist of fear. Could have done without that last sentence. Hopefully we just get some cool aliens messing up these teenage kids and a guy filming it with his eyeball. But we'll see. The Gracefield Incident. Ghost House. This one looks pretty cool. Is a couple that are vacationing in Thailand, and they upset some kind of local ghosts, Thai ghosts in a graveyard, get involved in a curse, and lots of spirits and that kind of thing. Loses her soul to the ghost world. There you go. Could be interesting. Again, the cover looks pretty cool. She's got a tree with a house coming out of her mouth and creepy hands. You've got some old witch kind of thing going on there. So yeah, I was really just taking a punt on these. They were between $5 and $7 Australian, free shipping on Amazon. I often do that. You just go onto Amazon, go to movies, DVDs, horror, and order it by the lowest price. I just grab stuff. I'm kind of liking, of late, watching a lot of sort of modern horror films that are not modern shot on video $2 films, but modern could have gone to cinema but didn't quite make it kind of films. Movies like this, if it went to cinema, I didn't know about it. But yeah, Ghost House. Sounds pretty interesting. This one is The Possession of Hannah Grace. I love a good Exorcist knockoff, and these possession of whoever. There's so many movies that are the possession of something, and it kind of gets me every time because most of them are fairly decent. Exorcism that spirals out of control. Months later, the protagonist is working a graveyard shift in the morgue, takes delivery of a disfigured cadaver. Locked inside the basement corridors, she begins to experience horrifying visions and starts to suspect that the body may be possessed by a ruthless demon. Ooh. Demon Corpse. I would have called the film Demon Corpse. If there's no movie called Demon Corpse, there should be. But death is only the beginning. Well, there you go. Possession of Hannah Grace. We will see how this one pans out. Running at a short 85 minutes. Patient Zero. This one looks fairly interesting. Zombie pandemic kind of thing. It's got Matt Smith that played Doctor Who for a bit. He was also in that really terrible Terminator Genesis, I think. He played one of the young Terminators. Matt Smith, I know him as being the 12th 12th Doctor? 12th Doctor. Anywho, bitten by viral super strain, a creature is born, but Matt Smith, who is asymptomatic, can communicate with the infected, leading the last survivors on hunt for a patient zero and a cure. So that could be kind of interesting. Find the disease and find the cure. Patient zero. See how that one goes. These next two I found in a charity shop. They were still sealed. They were on my list of things from about 6 months ago. New releases, I'll go check them out at some point. And I guess somebody couldn't be bothered because they were still sealed, and I found them in a charity shop. Viking Destiny. They've got some faces in it that I recognise, but not names that I particularly know. Like this guy, I've seen him and everything. I don't know which one he is. I'd be lying if I even tried to guess, but you know, you kind of low budget Game of Thrones kind of thing going on, I assume, but with Vikings, we will see how what this one's like. King Asmund, that's a cool name for a king. About a strong woman who should succeed on the throne. Yes, it does seem to involve thrones and kings, so there you go. Could be interesting, but with Vikings. Game of Viking Throne. Anyway, we'll see. Viking Destiny. And the next one is Knights of the Damned, which I'm told is actually one of two films. There is a sequel, and I've been told that I really need to get that sequel and watch them back to back, or I'll get left with a big cliffhanger on this one. But I like my dragon films, and well, here we go. That's clearly a dragon. Knights of the Damned. Relentless attacks on the castle. King sends his best knights to defeat the dragon, besieging them. Epic adventure. Malicious water sirens. That's cool. Race of warrior women on mission of revenge. An unstoppable army of the undead. Do they have what it takes to rah rah rah? That could be cool. See what it's like. But yeah, there is a sequel. So not sure we have a copy of the sequel locally. So if I like it, I might have to import it or just play the waiting game. Speaking of dragons, Dragon Soldiers. I won't lie, I got this because it's called Dragon Soldiers. That's it. Brand new release, and I thought, man, dragons and soldiers? I'm sold. This is going to be great. Who knows? Suburban town. Deadly monster lurks in the surrounding forest. There is the deadly monster. Killing all those that wander too close. Desperate to stop the attack, elite soldiers are called in to handle the situation. Huntlers quickly becoming the hunted. They struggle to kill the terrible fire-breathing beast. Yeah, I mean, if they do this right, it could be great. If it's just a really crappy $2 dragon that doesn't look anything like the cover, which is kind of hard to tell from the screenshots on the back, but we do have a dragon and guy's legs dangling out of its mouth, and that's usually worth the price of entry. So, running at a scant 86 minutes, we will check out Dragon Soldiers. Hell Came From Above. Cool. Okay. This one I guarantee to be utter garbage, and I had to buy it. Pharaoh's War. Yes, that is Mike Tyson. And with Mike Tyson, you've got the guy that plays the Mountain on Game of Thrones. I say the guy because the whole thing's written in Russian. I have no idea. And they've had to write beneath it, the Mountain from Game of Thrones, because... no idea. His middle name is Julius, so I'm just going to call him Julius because I can't say the rest of it. Anywho, these two guys, one man will survive. I think that cover is going to be complete and utter lie. Quick look at this. Suggests that it's an Egyptian film with an all-Egyptian cast and then these two guys. So, I'm getting a feeling this is going to be a bit like Steven Seagal's China Salesman. There's going to be someone else that's the lead star. These two are in it for 5 minutes and have some kind of battle, and everything else is about some other guy. We'll see how we go, but it involves Egyptian refugees, war-torn, heavily damaged cities, mercenaries, and imprisoning of young women, escaping prisons, battling guards, saving kids, apparently. Look, it reads okay, but oh, geez, the writing's on the wall. I don't know, we will see. Pharaoh's War with Mike Tyson. Solitary. This looks cool. This is a very isolated kind of science fiction film from the visual effects team of Fast and Furious. Alright. I don't think this is going to be a Fast and Furious film. It seems quite, well, solitary, quite isolated, quite claustrophobic. It's British, so we'll see how this goes. Dude named Isaac wakes up in a strange room to discover he's actually a prisoner who has been sent into space to start the Earth's first off-world colony. As a punishment. That's his punishment. Worse still, he finds he has a cellmate, Alana, who is hell-bent on blowing them up and destroying everything. So it looks like we're just going to get these two people in the film. I did not watch the trailer for this. I kind of sucked it in by the minimal blue cover here. I just thought, yeah, that's cool. And for a new release, I actually got this from JB, and it was like, I don't know, $10 I think on release day. So just a cheap little sci-fi film. Yeah, and it apparently has an explosive climax. Well, we'll see how we go with that. But yeah, British isolationist sci-fi or spaceship. Hopefully it's good. Alright, on to some older films here. I should probably cover this one up. This is Avalon. I can maybe do one at a time. I don't know. Ooh, there you go, Avalon. Yeah. This is a lowest of the low budget sword and sorcery film. I think it was shot in about like 88 or 89. It's British. I have the tape, and it's one of those ones that I laugh through watching the whole thing because it is just so cheap. But they're so earnest about it. They're really trying hard. They're all non-actors. It looks like they've just filmed down at the local park with a reenactment society. Occasionally some funny effects, but yeah. Ultimately, this is a really cheap sword and sorcery film, but I had a lot of fun with it. I was so surprised to see that thing got upgraded to DVD in Germany, and that's what we're looking at here. This is the German DVD for Avalon, also called Land of Magic, I think is what my tape is called. I better cover up the... whoop, there we go again. Yeah, so it's just a cheap DVD. It's in full screen, 80 minutes, and it's uncut. 80 minutes, it's very short. Apparently as a DVD bonus we get the original video Fassung. I assume that just means it's the VHS version of the film. I don't know. But anyway, 1989 film, so there you go. Avalon. Can't believe that this is on DVD. We got two Sci-Fi Channel films that they exist on Region 1, but they were really early Sci-Fi Channel DVDs and go for silly prices now. So I finally bit the bullet and got I think these are the South Korean editions, which are fine. They're authorized, they're just not American ones. This is Kraken, and this one is Darklight. Both, Sci-Fi Channel movies from sort of the early 2000s, sort of like 2000. Well, this one's 2009, and this one is 2007. So yeah, early mid 2000s there. And I haven't watched either of them. So I don't know what to really say about them, except for I needed these for my Sci-Fi Channel collection, and I was not going to pay the hundreds and hundreds of dollars that the Region 1 seemed to go for. So yeah, happy enough to get Kraken and Darklight on legit Korean DVDs. Another one from the charity shop I picked up. This is Earthquake. It's a Charlton Heston film from, what is this, like 1970 or something like that? Pretty much like that, 1974, there you go. Just a rip-roaring disaster film set in LA. Bit of a earthquake classic kind of thing. Not seen it before, but I like these earlier Charlton Heston films. George Kennedy's in this. He plays a tough cop. Lorne Greene plays a construction company owner trapped in the building. So, it's all about getting people out of buildings and stuff as there's an earthquake. So, yeah, it should be interesting. And not a DVD I see around very much. It's an old Universal disc, so the old early ratings. And, it's in anamorphic scope, so it should be a nice presentation. Earthquake. Two more DVDs to go. This one is Night of the Warrior, a US DVD that came from a local used DVD shop. Lorenzo Lamas film, needed it for the collection. I remember reading that this is actually a fairly boring one, but as I said, Lorenzo Lamas needed this for the collection. And it is a forced to fight film, so I don't know how you can make a forced to fight film boring, but we'll see. He's in the brutal world of illegal kickboxing known as human cockfights. That's brilliant. But there's all this kissy stuff going on in the background, so maybe it spends too much time doing that, and not enough on human cockfighting. But we will see. Old Trimark video thing with the those cool old DVDs where they did the etching into the surface. I like old DVDs. I'm really coming around to some of the old ones. When you find them, the cases are better, the artwork's better. It's just they've just spent more money in putting out something as low tier as this, and that's impressive. I think like the case you could build a house out of, as opposed to those newer cases where they've got half the plastic chopped away to be eco-friendly. But anyway, I digress. Night of the Warrior, Lorenzo Lamas. And the last DVD we're going to take a look at, and I cannot believe that this is not on Blu-ray in any territory. It is on DVD only, and it's just died there, and that DVD is out of print. All the DVDs are out of print. Ridiculous. This is Turbulence, also known as Speed in the Air. At least that's sort of what the quotes like to call it. This was a Ray Liotta film from 1997. It was a big deal when it came out, around that time when we were doing movies like Con Air, Speed, that kind of thing. Turbulence was up there. It was a big deal. And this DVD came out, I think, 98 or 99, which is incredibly early for DVD. So the film is 97. That means that this DVD came out in its natural duration from cinema to home video release. There would have been a VHS as well. This is not an after the fact release. This is the disc that came out when the movie hit digital formats. Anyway, I just thought that was fairly impressive. It's such an old Australian DVD. It comes in this strange frosted casing. I don't know who made this case, but it's got like a lipped edge, which is really interesting. Chapter card there on the inside, and the disc is embossed, which is nice. The American disc has got a snapper case cardboard thing. I think this is much better. So this is a 22 plus year old DVD, and there's been nothing really since this. It's quite ridiculous. I haven't put in the disc yet to see what it's like. The very old Australian DVD review I found said it was a really good presentation, but keep in mind that's 22 years old. We'll see how we go. I remember liking Turbulence when it came out, because I liked all those things, Con Air and all that kind of Under Siege 2, that kind of stuff. All good fun, executive decision, Fear is in the air with Turbulence. We will see how this old DVD stacks up in the day of Blu-ray and 4K. Ray Liotta, Turbulence, good times. On to the Blu-rays now, and the first one in this massive pile just came in today. Spare Parts. Look at that glorious embossed slipcase there. So good. This I haven't even watched the trailer. I just saw the cover and then I read the back and thought I'm going to go in blind on this. This sounds like something, fake Grindhouse kind of thing. Basically, these two girls are in a band called Ms. 45, so there's a throwback for you. Punk band. A crazy obsessed fan, after the show, drugs them. The band wake up. When they wake up, all of their limbs have been replaced with saws and axes and stuff, and then they're forced to fight in a gladiatorial ring. How good is this sounding? Spare Parts. A gory and exhilarating ride. I really hope that this is good and not some 3-cent movie. Unfortunately, it's the same art underneath. But anyway, I've got really good high hopes for this. I hope I'm not going to get let down. I don't recognise any of the names in it. That doesn't matter. Running for 90 minutes on the dot. Spare Parts. Oh man, I think this is going to get bumped to the top of the queue. It seems pretty good. It listed on Amazon for like 45 Australian. I'm like, oh, it's pushing it. Then literally the next day I refreshed and yep, $30. We'll go for that, thank you. And the free shipping. Spare Parts. It sounds pretty cool. Nice upgrade here. There is a slip, but I put it in the box. I didn't like it. Event Horizon. Really good film. Everyone knows Event Horizon. I think this came out in 97 as well. Yeah, 97. With Sam Neill. Super good. Pretty gory. Sci-fi crazy future stuff. A spaceship with a black hole generator that sends everybody mad. Great stuff. If you've never seen this, you need to see it. For me, it's like it's like the gory horror version of Sunshine. I can back to back those two films. Like you watch Sunshine and then I put on Event Horizon. That works. That's a good little 3 hours of cinema there. And then if you want to extend that, chuck Virus in, and you've got a great afternoon. But yeah, if you've not seen Event Horizon, I highly suggest you check it out. Particularly for Sam Neill, he's mental in this. He rips his own eyeballs out. Lawrence Fishburne from The Matrix, he's in this. And this has got a nice new video scan that Shout Factory's put out. So that's the reverse art, the old theatrical poster. The slip is kind of like that thing there underneath. Because I'm talking about these stupid eco disc things. The amount of times that I have received a disc that's been punctured through the paper, through the plastic and the paper, because there's just no protection. It is a fool's saving there. You are not saving any planet or money or anything. It's because you end up throwing the case out and replacing the case, don't you? So whatever. Event Horizon, good movie, good upgrade. These ones are only a slight upgrade. This was more a convenience factor for me. The Prophecy Complete Collection. Honestly, the video quality is not brilliant on these, but it's been the same set, just reissued since about 10 years now. They keep reissuing this set. Miramax stuff is just, I don't know. There seems to be no interest or maybe no capability to get Miramax titles away from Miramax and properly treated. So what you get here is the 5 Prophecy films spread over 2 discs, and they've done it really strangely. Disc 1 you get parts 1, 3, 4 and 5, and then disc 2 you get number 2. I don't know why it worked out that way. Very silly. They are in HD. It is better than watching the DVDs, and there is, as far as I know, no better way of watching the movie, so you can't complain. It's like 22 Australian for this set, so it is what it is until somebody like Shout Factory does a Prophecy box set, which, that's what I was waiting for, a nice treatment. But what we have here is the presentation's the video's a bit soft because they've crammed so much on the discs, but it is what it is. You're not going to get any better. So yeah, there you go. The Prophecy. The movies are, The Law of Diminishing Returns. The first one's great. The second's pretty good. And just till you get to number 5, 4 and 5 doesn't even have Christopher Walken in it. But it's a nice little set. So yeah, I'm happy enough to have it, especially for the price. When you're paying $4 a movie, who cares? I've got a couple of kids' films. This is finally on Blu-ray. I love my 80s nostalgic movies that I grew up with. Obviously, movies like The Goonies have been reissued 75 times. We've had even multiple editions and a special edition now, like Short Circuit. But this is one that was always kind of forgotten. Explorers, which being a Joe Dante film is kind of a surprise, but it becomes less of a surprise when you watch the special features at the end. Apparently this movie, I have great nostalgia for this thing. I watched it on VHS, we taped it off TV. I lived and breathed this movie, but according to the documentary that comes with it, this movie bombed badly. People didn't like it at the time. It was poorly received, but man, I think it's great. The last act, it does fall apart a little bit. It all builds up. These kids that end up building their own spaceship. The kids on bikes kind of thing. The nerd, the outcast. The usual array of kids. And they build a spaceship. They go to space, and then they finally meet the aliens, and it gets a little strange at that point. But if you've not seen Explorers, but you like movies like what I've talked about, the standard 80s kids movies that we all grew up on, you should check it out, because it still holds up for me, despite the last 20 minutes being kind of weird. It's still a really good film. And this one, apparently, and I'm going to thank Andrew Balliner for showing this in one of his updates, Daryl, this fits into the same thing. This has got the kid from what is it? Neverending Story, I think. I think it's the same kid. Anyway, Daryl is great. Another one of those kids films. This is a bit more like War Games, but the kid's younger. I guess it sort of fits into that demographic a bit. A bit violent. Does a bit more in the army being involved kind of thing. So, not wanting to give too much away, but it's about a kid that he arrives out of nowhere with no memory of who he is, gets fostered by a foster family, and they quickly work out that he's not only a genius but has all these physical skills that are just out of this world. And anyway, it unfolds why this is the case, and then he it gets a bit dark in the last act with the army chasing him down and that kind of thing. But this is a really solid one. I don't know what age it was when I watched it. It definitely earns the PG. A bit like Short Circuit, it earns the PG. There's a couple of shits in there, and a couple of violent scenes, and bullets and blood and that kind of thing. The kind of thing they don't do much in kids' movies anymore. It's all very sanitized. But anyway, Daryl's a really good one. If you've not seen it, definitely check it out. German upgrade, Ghoulies 1, 2, and 3. So Ghoulies 1 and 2 I had on the Shout Factory disc. Ghoulies 2 was cut. Apparently in this edition, Ghoulies 2 is uncut, and you get number 3 as well. Ghoulies Go to College. So that's neat. So there's part 1. Just separate discs, part 2, part 3. There is a part 4, I've never seen it. But based on the trajectory of this German company, they're going to release part 4, and then 6 months later, they're going to make a box set of all 4 of them. And you know what I'll end up doing, won't you? Anyway, I haven't checked out the video quality yet, but it should be good. It reads fine on the tin here, and as I said, part 2 is uncut. That was the main selling point. So really cool, and the classic artwork there on the front. Very happy to get that. Ghoulies 1, 2, and 3. This is a surprise. The Kick Fighter with Richard Norton. Amazing. How this is on Blu-ray, I have no idea. It looks like it's going to be a really good transfer. I have not seen this one in many years. I don't have a DVD. I'm not entirely sure what there was for the Kick Fighter, but it sounds like they've gone all out in the presentation of this thing. There's the other artwork. You get with German discs, you get a reverse art. This is very cool. And their Horrible Ratings logo was actually on the shrink wrap, so both covers don't have the big German ratings logo, which is nice. English, proper DTS, HD audio. It's in widescreen, 166:1. So yeah, Kick Fighter, I can't believe it. What year did this movie come out? Probably like 1990 or something. Don't have it here, but it came out through Shamrock Media. So yeah, Kick Fighter. I love Richard Norton doing these forced to fight and kickboxing kind of movies, so awesome stuff. Glad to have that. Another local release, Boss Level. This has been getting a bit of a write-up, and Frank Grillo, he's been doing some good things. He was really good in what are they called? I've forgotten. Anyway, he's really good in a whole bunch of stuff, and he's with Mel Gibson and Naomi Watts in this one. So I've only gone into the trailer briefly. Most people have just been saying it's really good. It's from the director of Smoking Aces, which I thought was good fun. But it's this guy who's Frank Grillo. Every morning he wakes up, he gets killed by assassins, and then he wakes up the next day. It's like Groundhog Day, but with assassins killing him. And it's boss level, so I guess it's a bit treated like a video game. And Mel Gibson is most likely going to be the boss. So yeah, it seems manically fun. We will see. Strong violence and coarse language, running out of time and lives. Should be fun. I've been told it's good. Unbelievable. We now have Drive on Blu-ray. Mark Dacascos classic from like 95 or something along those lines. Do I have a date on the back? Don't think I see a date on the back, but it's around about there, mid-90s. This has been a tough one to get in decent quality. There was a French DVD that was in widescreen, and I think that was pretty much your lot. And then I think like a sort of grey market Taiwanese disc. But now we have a proper one from MVD, who are doing really good work putting out a lot of this stuff with a nice slipcase that has all the pretend stickers to make it look like a rental. It's very cool. Drive is a fairly crazy one from the mid-90s. He is playing a guy called Toby Wong, and he's got this bioenergy thing attached to his chest, and His martial arts skills are tuned to a superhuman level, it says on the back here. But he doesn't want the power, and he's getting hunted down by the cops, and he needs a hostage, and that's where this guy here, who's Kadeen Hardison, is his hostage, and I guess, you know, is then becomes along for the ride as well. And Brittany Murphy's in this. I don't remember what she was doing in it, but anyway, it's been a very long time since I watched it, and yeah, Dacascos is pulling off all kinds of sort of, you know, Guns Akimbo, John Woo, and a bit of Jackie Chan craziness. This is a good time, definitely, and really glad to have an upgraded drive. Next one is something I've been waiting to see for a long time and just never made it into the top of my cart. Every Man and His Dog's been going on about this film, and now I've got this special edition that includes sort of a, not quite a sequel, but like a 1.5. This is One Cut of the Dead. Particularly, this is the Hollywood edition, so that's like a spin-off, One Cut of the Dead in Hollywood. But you get the original film as well. Nice kind of slip here as well. So it's a Japanese zombie horror comedy thing. The selling point for this is that the first 37 minutes is one singular shot. I'm really looking forward to seeing where that goes. But it's about this film crew that's filming a zombie movie, but then at the same time the world gets infected by real zombies, and they've just got to adapt, and he films the thing as he's going, so he's filming his movie but then filming the real zombies. It's, yeah, apparently really good time, and quite inventive, and yeah, to see what this in Hollywood edition is, which is more zealous zombies and the former cast beefed up with international characters. So I don't know, it's like they've like Richard Harrisoned it, you know, got the Japanese movie and then thrown in a white guy. I don't know what they've done here, but we will see. I get both movies for the price of one. That's the original artwork there, and yeah, I guess it's on both on the one disc, so that's what you get. This was a really good price. It was actually going to cost me more to get the old edition, and I thought, well, I can get a slipcase and a bonus film, so hey, One Cut of the Dead, including the Hollywood edition. Very cool. Finally get to check it out. A nice upgrade here from Eureka, Encounters of the Spooky Kind. Some Sammo Hung science fiction, fantasy, action, comedy thing, written, directed, starring. I haven't watched my old DVD in so long. I had like I think it was a Fortune Star disc. I didn't have a local one, I had some import thing. Be a good 15 years, I think, since I've watched this movie, so we'll see what it's like. But Sammo plays Big Guts, that's his name. Well known in his village for a lack of fear, his reputation is put to the test after he's tricked into spending the night in a temple full of spirits, zombies, and vampires. It's a nice 2K restoration. Eureka does amazing work. Look at all that stuff you get. Quite ridiculous. You get a poster inside, which is double-sided with the, I don't want to fold it out, but you get the original, or at least an authentic looking original type of poster there, and the custom artwork. You get a booklet, you get the disc. I'm not totally in love with the custom artwork they've done this time. It's all right, but it's yeah, you know, maybe it's just too blue, I don't know, but whatever, it's the film that counts. Encounter of the Spooky Kind, Sammo Hung. Alright, we're into the Severin titles here. This one I had to get because of the cover and because it involves sharks, but I have been told by many people I will likely fall asleep watching this film. Deep Blood, a Italian shark knockoff film, Jaws knockoff film. It's Joe D'Amato is involved, but he's not the director. I'm sure he was actually involved in this. I don't know. It does say it is the Joe D'Amato Sharksploitation saga, but it is directed by Raf Donato. Don't know if that's a pseudonym or what's going on, but whatever. This is Deep Blood. Yeah, apparently a bit of a snooze fest, but we will see. I had to pick it up. That cover's too amazing. It's got... let's read the back. No, I don't want to read that. Shot on location in Florida and Rome swimming pools. D'Amato, well, I guess it is. Maybe it's just a alternate name, this Raf Donato. Anyway, Probably is. Joe D'Amato combines 80s teen movie cliches and Native American mysticism with stupefying dialogue, over-the-top performances, and shark footage that Bruno Mattei would swipe for Cruel Jaws. So, yeah, I mean, Cruel Jaws is amazing. I love Cruel Jaws, but if Joe D'Amato can't use that footage well, and this is a snore fest, then I don't know. Look, I'm going to have to watch it myself. Hopefully I will get enjoyment out of it. The writing is kind of on the wall, but I wasn't going to leave it behind. It needs to be watched, I think, by me. I'll make my own mind up. On Deep Blood, Italian shark films. Upgraded yet again, Day of the Animals. I don't know how we've ended up in this situation where Day of the Animals has had 2 Blu-rays already in the space of like 4 years. But here we are. It's got Leslie Nielsen in it. So that's the slip, which is interesting. I assume that might have been some kind of cinematic poster. I do far prefer this. That artwork's much better. But it's a bit of a groundbreaking sort of 70s. Well, it's from the director of... director William Girdler, who did Grizzly. It's often seen as a sequel to it, but it's not. It's just because it's the same director. Came out in 1976. So you get a... read some stuff here. A hole in the Earth's ozone layer triggers bloodthirsty madness throughout the animal kingdom. All mankind, particularly a group of tourists on an overnight hike, will become their prey. And yeah, you get a whole bunch of people, including Leslie Nielsen. So yeah, strange that I'm upgrading this one already. I did like this one, but not as much as... We'll get there in a second. Grizzly! Killer Bear movie, which has now been on Blu-ray. This is at least the 3rd one. Yes, maybe the 4th. I'm pretty sure this is the 3rd American one, plus you've had 88 films released. It's just ridiculous how many times Grizzlies come out. But that's it, we're done. We are done now. Severin have done new masters of both these things. We're done, we're finished. There cannot be another one. Or can there? Anyway. A bit more of the classic artwork there. So yeah, same director as Day of the Animals. This is completely a rip-off of Jaws. It was shot and filmed and came out 1 year after Jaws. But no shark, it's a killer bear. It's a very entertaining Jaws knockoff with a killer bear. Like it follows the same tropes. Christopher George is in this. He's from Pieces. He was really good. Andrew Prine's in this. Richard Jekyll from The Dark. He's in this. But it roars with a new 2K scan from the Internegative, so that's why this is the edition you want. The Scorpion edition was pretty good. The 88 films was exactly the same, but yeah, this one from Severin knocks it out of the park. So there you go. That is Grizzly, and again, the final upgrade. I hope we're done. Speaking of films I cannot believe have come out. Another one I've got to cover up. Invaders of the Lost Gold. A bit like Deep Blood, this one gets crapped on from up high. I think it's kind of unfair for me to even say that I've watched it. I watched the Grey Market Australian DVD, which was letterboxed, amazingly, but it was shot through a potato. Like that thing was the worst transfer you've ever seen. I will watch it again with new eyes, new transfer. I'll get the boobies off the cover. And there we go, covered up boobies here. Mastered from the original negative. This is from producer Dick Randall, who did Escape from Women's Prison, and also involved in Pieces. Philippine production from the 80s, so instantly a reason why I'm watching this. A Japanese platoon in World War II attacked by headhunters while attempting to hide millions in gold. 36 years later, a grizzled guide is hired to lead an expedition, including Woody Strode from Spartacus, into a jungle inferno of greed, violence, nudity, and murder. So we will see how this one goes down in HD. I mean, the transfer looks absolutely amazing from those screenshots. Severin are up there with Vinegar Syndrome, in my opinion, in terms of transfers. Definitely of late, they're just completely knocking it out of the park. And oop, can't get it back on. Anyway, Invaders of the Lost Gold. I will see what that is like in a proper edition. The next two, I thank you, Severin, for listening to all of us that have been requesting these films, particularly the first one, and I'm stoked about this for multiple reasons. Strike Commando, this is the king, this is the absolute king of Bruno Mattei's jungle exploitation movies. You get everything you want. You get Reb Brown screaming, you get hilarious dialogue about Disneyland being told to dying children, exploding huts left, right, and center. It's just, I can't. Well, look, let's just look at the quote on the back. See this movie, a great action-filled ride that gets better with each viewing. Best going apeshit ending in a movie ever. Quote by Explosive Action. For the second time now, Severin have quoted me on the back of a disc. I'm very thankful to them. They also did that on Robo War. I can't really overstate this. For me to have my words on Strike Commando and Robo War in HD is beyond this world. That is something that I would have never have thought to possibly happen. But anyway, this movie is amazing. I watched it at least 10 times. I'm so looking forward to checking it out in HD. Just, what else do we get on this? You get a screenwriter with Claudio Fragrasso interview, All Quiet on the Philippine Front interview with co-writer Rosella Durudi. Promos, trailers, it's a couple of interviews, not too much there, but really it doesn't matter. Christopher Connolly from Raiders of Atlantis is in this. Jim Gaines, who's in every second Philippines film movie, is in this. It's absolutely one of Bruno Mattei's best films. Strike Commando, I am just so stoked. And then bang, they drop number 2. Wow, Strike Commando 2. So Reb Brown's not in this one, but instead of him, we get the awesome Brent Huff. So, you win some, you lose some. It's interesting because that looks more like Brent, looks more like Reb there, but it's actually Brent Huff. So, anyway, this one is crazier than the first one. The first movie is more straight ahead, sort of missing in action kind of jungle exploitation. This one has got Raiders of the Lost Ark stuff going on. This is crazy. It even says in here, it's a crowd pleaser that shamelessly borrows from Apocalypse Now, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Rambo, and beyond. It really does. Not just borrows. This is when Bruno Mattei, just like in Shocking Dark, was just lifting scenes verbatim, tweaking the dialogue a tiny bit, but it was the same camera angles, the same everything. Amazing stuff. I'm stoked to have both of these things on Blu-ray now. And my good buddy from the direct-to-video connoisseur gets a quote on this one. All the stuntmen craziness and explosions you can cram into 90 minutes. That is so true. What a really, really, really fun film, and amazing that we have these on Blu-ray. This one you get the Gorilla Zone interview with Claudio Fragrasso, and Michael Ransom Strikes Back interview with Brent Huff. Now that's cool, because Brent doesn't tend to talk about these films much, so I'm really excited to check that out. 5 years ago, if you told me that this movie was coming to Blu-ray, I wouldn't believe you. If you then told me it was coming to Blu-ray in a deluxe hard box, seriously, get the hell out of here. This is Killing Birds, Zombie 5, in a big hard box from 88 Films. This is mental. What world are we in here? Killing Birds. So Zombie 5. It's called that because of I'm not entirely sure if it was actually ever titled that. I only ever know it of Zombie 5 when the old Shriek Show DVDs started to call it Zombie 5 after they did their After Death release for Zombie 4 and then Zombie 3, and anyway. So Killing Birds is really its title. This film is completely batshit crazy. Jaw-dropping slice of 80s horror as only the Italians are capable of imagining. Claudio Lattanzi's Zombie 5, Killing Birds, and also called Raptors. I've never seen it known as Raptors. Everything but the kitchen sink styled thriller that piles on the gore and insane plot twists. It is completely and utterly nuts. Even just reading this description. A group of college-age ornithologists have taken a class trip deep into the wilderness on a quest to find and study a rare, possibly extinct species of bird. Despite receiving ominous warnings, both human and avian, that's a great sentence, they set up camp in a musty old house only to find themselves under siege from supernatural forces. It's not just the house or hordes of hungry birds they have to worry about. They quickly realise they're going to have to contend with bloody, bloodthirsty zombies. Ridiculous movie. If I can get this thing out. Come on. Just come on out of here, the tight box. You get a booklet, which is far more than this movie deserves. All about the history of the zombie films. Very cool. There's the slightly more traditional artwork there. 88 films, man. What are you doing? This is crazy. Poster. This is... I reckon they must have been laughing themselves to sleep as they were putting this thing together, going, no, let's not just do it in a slipcase, let's put it in a hard box. No, let's add a booklet. This is going to go crazy. And it's probably sold out by now. This thing is crazy. Absolutely mental. Zombie 5 in a ridiculously cool Blu-ray box set. We've got some Vinegar Syndrome titles over here now. Alley Cat. Got a double-sided thing here. This is on the Vinegar Syndrome, the VSA line. So it comes out from the bottom, which is cool. I've never seen Alley Cat. I know very little about it. It read kind of cool though, so that's why I decided to jump on this particular one. Billy has had enough of thugs and gangsters who have been terrorizing her neighborhood. After her grandparents are savagely attacked on their way home, she decides to take matters in her own hands, use her own knowledge of martial arts, begins dishing out her own brand of vigilante justice. So we've seen this movie 1,000 times. You know, it's the Walking Tall riff, but it's adding in martial arts. I mean, there's 110 different movies that use that. So Alley Cat sounds like it's going to be right up my alley, pretty much. Whacked out mix of action, drama, revenge thriller, laced with social commentary. Co-directors Victor Ordonez, Ed Palmos, and Al Valletta. Why do we have 3 directors? Gritty, tightly paced crime film set in the seedy LA of the 80s. Very cool. I do look forward to checking this one out. You get a poster. I like this more minimal artwork than I do the this kind of cartoony comic book one. I don't do that too much. I do like this one though. So very nice. I am hopeful that this film is good. I always struggle getting these things back in their sleeves, is what I do. Alley Cat. Yeah, big fan of the Walking Tall kind of rip-off films. So there you go, Alley Cat. Awesome. This one looks so crazy. This looks like Action USA level crazy. This is Champagne and Bullets. Wow. The trailer for this looks mental. It stars Wings Hauser. So I'm already off to the races with that. There's the other side of it. That's way better. Another VSA title. What do we get in here? You get a poster, you get the disc. Not another poster. After being set up on a phony drug charge by a corrupt cop named Normad, 2 respected policemen, Rick and Huck, are kicked off the force. Great names. Years later, Rick reunites with Cindy, his ex-girlfriend, reveals that she's being pursued by a satanic cult that has started practicing human sacrifices and worse, is being operated by Nomad. When Huck is set up again by Nomad, who is now a judge, Rick takes it upon himself to defeat the encroaching evil. Mental. This is going to be mental. An almost indescribable action film, pure passion project, produced, directed, written by and starring John DeHart, his sole filmmaking endeavor. This actually reads like that level of passion means I'm going to get something like Miami Connection, and I really hope it is of the same level as Miami Connection, because then it becomes like the perfect beer and mates kind of tear it apart movie night, and I do enjoy having those nights. So I think that's when Champagne and Bullets is going to come out. The photos in the back here, the moustache, I don't know if that's going to come across, but that is a glorious moustache. Oh wow, this is going to be great. 1993. Awesome. I look forward to checking out Champagne and Bullets, and I hope I will not be disappointed. I would be very surprised if I can get this back in. No, I'll be very surprised if I will be disappointed by Champagne and Bullets. It sounds completely up my alley. And the next one we got here is the Cardona collection. So this is a set of 3 films. Another really cool box, actually. Set of 3 films. Take a quick look at that, both sides, because there's so much effort put into it. Then a slipcase inside, and underneath the slipcase, you get the artwork again. So you get Treasure of the Amazon, Bermuda Triangle, Cyclone. And all of these are directed by Rene Cardona Jr., who is, as it says here, the king of Mexican exploitation cinema in the 70s and 80s. I'm not too familiar with him. I didn't actually realise that he was a bit of a thing, because the only one I've seen is Cyclone. And I watched that way back when I got the Synapse DVD. I recall very little about it. It's a 1978 film. But Treasure of the Amazon and Bermuda Triangle I've never seen, so... I mean, there's way too much to read on the back here. I'll just let you go check it out. But it's also interesting. It's volume 1, so I don't know how many movies this guy has done, but I expect to see a volume 2 from VS at some point. Yeah, they just seem to be, you know, up my alley, trashy exploitation action type things. So very cool. Very cool. Definitely going in blind on these ones. 3 separate discs. 1, 2, 3. Sort of disaster films, I think. You got, like, you know, boat that's over the edge there. You got another boat that's over the edge there, and you got what's probably some kind of cannibals or something going on there. I don't know. But the Cardona collection, ridiculous stuff, and VS just putting in the maximum effort. It's like a gloss embossed logo, even on the spine, and then you put the whole thing inside this box. People say that, you know, the old Blu-rays, nobody buys them anymore, and then these ridiculous things come out from collectible labels doing movies that no one else has heard of in 30 years. It's just crazy to me, and I'm very happy to see it. The Cardona collection. I'll be checking these out very shortly. 3 box sets we're going to take a look at here. The first one's quite an old DVD set, which I'm really happy to get. I got this very cheap off a Facebook group. This is the Sonny Chiba collection triple DVD set. I think this is the volume 1, so I've already got volume 2. This one has, and I'll pull them out one by one. It's an Old Eastern Eye release set, as you can see. This one's got Golgo 13, the Kowloon Assignment, and the Bullet Train, which is meant to be really, really good. So looking forward to that one particularly. And this one I don't need, because I've got the Shout Factory Blu-ray set. This is Street Fighter's Last Revenge. I've got all the Street Fighter films elsewhere, but I haven't got the other 2. And this DVD set, I really love getting the Eastern Eye titles. And yeah, it's in such great condition too. It doesn't come up. There's one that's perpetually on eBay, and that seller drives me nuts because they've got it for a very reasonable $50 plus $50 shipping in Australia. I'd sent them a message many months ago saying, I think your postage is wrong. They said, no, we put that so that we pay half the fee. I thought that was outrageous. Anyway, Old Eastern Eye set, completely out of print. Street Fighter's Last Revenge from 74, Bullet Train from 75, and Golgo 13 from 77. Some cool Sonny Chiba action adventure-y type crime movies, I think. So obviously, yeah, Street Fighter's Last Revenge, we know what we're getting there, but Bullet Train and Golgo 13, I'm kind of going in blind, see what they're like, but really happy to have them, and it goes nicely with the other set. This is again, and I just Phineas Syndrome, what are you doing? We now have Scanner Cop and Scanner Cop 2. Not only is this in Blu-ray in separate slipcases, which are amazingly presented. That's the artwork I know for Scanner Cop 1. I've never seen the artwork for Scanner Cop 2. But look at that, the eye is gloss. It's just ridiculous. Not only are these things Blu-rays, but they've got UHD 4Ks as well. Not that I can play them or that I really care, but like, it's ridiculous. That's the proper artwork. Amazing. So Scanner Cop 2 take place after Scanners 1, 2, and 3. There you go inside. So you get a separate blue and a separate UHD. I'll just pretend that one's not there because I'm only going to be playing the blue. And yeah, it's reverse cover art. I much prefer this classic artwork of Scanner Cop. I have only ever seen the first Scanner Cop. We had this Australian DVD that was like Payless Entertainment put it out. Cheap full screen thing. It was watchable enough. But I watched that a long time ago, so need to revisit both these films to see how they stack up to the original Scanners films. Here we go again, a blue and a UHD, and the reverse art is the box, the outside box art. I don't get it. I kind of don't get it. I do get it, but I don't get it. What goes through Vinegar Syndrome's mind when they say, yeah, let's do a ridiculous hardcover box with 2 slipcases for movies called Scanner Cop 1 and 2. Nah, screw it, let's make them 4K. And here we are. Mental. Scanner Cop 2, The Showdown. Yep. And the last thing we got here, and we're back into the land of Severin, is the Euro Crypt of Christopher Lee. This thing is very immense. I'm really excited to have this one. I've only ever seen one of these films before. We get 6. We get Sherlock Holmes and the Deadly Necklace, Crypt of the Vampire, The Torture Chamber of Dr. Sadism, which is the one I've seen, Challenge the Devil, Castle of the Living Dead, and Theatre Macabre. It's the back of the box. So these are Christopher Lee films that, if I'm pretty sure if they're all the same as the one I've watched, were made in Germany. I think that's correct. Are they all from Germany? So 5 of these Lee classics together: 1964 Gothic horror Crypt of the Vampire, 64 hit Castle of the Living Dead, starring an unknown Donald Sutherland. There you go. 62's celebrated Sherlock Holmes and the Deadly Necklace. Never even seen that one. 67's lurid favourite, The Torture Chamber of Dr. Sadism, which I've seen. I had a German DVD that was really good. It had a different name. It was all in German, so I won't even try and pronounce it. But I think it translated to the Torture Chamber of Dr. Sadism, but I never really looked it up. And the rarely seen 1963 oddity Challenge of the Devil, with the 24 surviving episodes of the 1971 film Polsky anthology series Theatre Macabre. So that is a collection of TV episodes. Crazy box set, all remastered from negative materials with over 10 hours of trailers, promos, commentaries, vintage interviews, Castle of the Living Dead soundtrack, 100-page book from Jonathan Rigby. This is crazy. Castle of the Living Dead. There you go. So these are all Blu-ray. Challenge of the Devil. Very nice. Crypt of the Vampire. Very nice. Sherlock Holmes and the Deadly Necklace. Love him dressed as Sherlock Holmes there on the back. The hat and pipe. Classic stuff. The Theatre Macabre TV series. And is this multiple discs? 24 episodes. Yep. You get 2 Blu-rays on this. Disc 1, disc 2. 2 Blu-rays. So, amazing. And the last one here is, can I show it? I can just show it. The Torture Chamber of Dr. Sadism. This one's great. I really enjoyed this. And is it... Yeah, this is in... It's got English, okay. The one I watched was in German with English subtitles. Does this have English subs? Yes, it does. I think. Well, no, the interview has. Well, I don't know. Anyway, it's English friendly at least in some way. So there you go, and you get this whopping great book from Jonathan Rigby, which is going to be a fantastic read. Look at that. Fantastic stuff. The presentation these guys put together. Severin and Vinegar Syndrome are just knocking it out of the park. They are keeping the films interesting. They're keeping Blu-ray alive in these, otherwise dying embers of physical media. These guys are like, nah, let's just make these crazy box sets, chuck some CDs in there and booklets, and a massive thing weighs an absolute ton. Of these films that are largely also forgotten, so you get a great appreciation for these 60s Christopher Lee films that, they're not his usual Dracula movies. They're not, these are the forgotten non-Hammer horror movies. And I'm just excited to have this kind of stuff. So there we go. That, I appreciate, was quite a long update. And I thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed going through all this with me. If you did, please like, hit subscribe, and check out that and that, whatever they may be,